A lot of people are talking about how nursing homes are going to close, hospitals are going to close, disability services are going to close with this big, beautiful bill. And a lot of you have not paid attention to disability for the last 5 years, ever since, Biden told you your masks are safe to come off now. By the way, the greatest indication that genocide and fascism is on the rise, pandemics. But anyways, during the pandemic, ongoing pandemic, and before, disabled people have been raising the alarm that private equity had been buying up hospitals, disability services, and nursing homes. In fact, I would venture to guess at this point, a vast majority of them are already bought, in the process of being bought, or shutting down entirely. Now, this may not make a lot of sense to you because it kind of sounds like a non sequitur, but do you all remember what happened to Red Lobster, Joanne Fabrics, now Skechers? They anticipate that these places will close and they'll sell them off for parts. In fact, they're going to close a lot faster than this bill even takes place, because it's set to take place, a lot of these changes are set to take place in 2027 and 2028, because their plan is to just leech every single profit off of these places, and have been, right? And then sell the companies off for parts. To whom, I don't really know. And they in particular increased their purchasing of disability services during the pandemic, right as they were also lobbying to reduce protections for people, like masks, mitigation. Remember when Delta lobbied for the quarantine period to go from 10 days to 5? I remember that. And now 8 to 15% of you may be permanently disabled because of COVID, and you all are just now realizing it. And those are the services you would need. But also, I expect them to push euthanasia, like Canada, and call it mercy too, which is also something I said in 2022. So this comment reads, I stopped watching CNN when they said COVID was gone. Gone where? You want to know what the fuck? You know what the fuck I noticed? As soon as Trump got in office, some of these same assholes that've been walking around for the last 4 fucking years with their head in the fucking clouds started wearing masks again. Like the air suddenly fucking changed just because a Republican was in office now. Not even fucking realizing that the greatest rise in fascism, the indicator, is usually the mass death of disabled people and the mass disablement due to a pandemic. It was reported on very thoroughly in 2020. They just didn't give a shit. But it's just the Republicans that don't believe in fucking science. Now all of a sudden, now the public health is being taken away after not heeding it for 4 years. Oh, what's happening? Oh my god, what's happening? What's gonna happen with public health? It's been decimated. Have any of you been paying attention? Not you, but you know what I mean? But it's so much worse than that. This comment reads, don't worry, millions of Americans are about to lose their health care. I've renamed the bill the stupid dumbhead bill. That'll teach them to mess with the Dems. Mission accomplished. But it's so much worse than that, because the political analysts and their bet is that enough people will die. That their electability shoots up the roof. They are counting on enough people dying that them being in office seems like a win. That's why it's all easy breezy, beautiful cover girl over there, right? Because for whatever reason, genuine fucking enthusiasm for a forward-thinking plan does not compute to any of them. Or they don't care. They get their money either way. They get their private donors either way. And the fact that they have spent more energy in the past week trying to silence Mom Donnie than they have, like the disparity in effort in taking down Mamdani than taking down this bill is astounding to me, because they know. And by the way, that's how Biden got elected. Because I know y'all forgot, well, not you, but I know y'all forgot that COVID fucking exists. But Biden was only elected because millions of people died. Oh, actually, only at that point, a few 100,000 people died. By now, it's millions. And that's the type of experience they're trying to replicate to win in 2026 and 2028. This country has never fucking cared about disabled people, and I'm sick of people pretending like that's the case. Our bodies are profit centers, right? Because during the Industrial Revolution, it was made illegal for disabled people to be in public. At the very same time, they were setting up institutionalization centers across the United States. They used disability laws like conservatorships and guardianships to strip Native people of their land. That's how colonialization happened. Disability. And now you talk about it like it's some benevolent fucking thing. Anyways, disabled people were only allowed in the public again, fully, In the United States in 1974, after the ugly laws were struck down, disabled people's right to live in community wasn't actually set in stone by Supreme Court law until 1999. I was nine. And we know this to be the case by how you treat us. Yeah, sure, you have a disabled family member, a disabled cousin, a disabled blah, blah, blah. But you don't actually fucking listen to us. Because when we told you all that COVID was going to accelerate the rise in fascism, that people were going to start having outside thoughts about eugenics and who deserves to live and who deserves to die, you didn't fucking believe us. This isn't a new news article from Politico saying that the Fed ties the 1918 flu pandemic to Nazi party gains. That was written in 2020. It was a warning. I didn't make predictions. I literally just looked at the playbook they were running. 25 million people lost access to Medicaid while Biden was in office because COVID protections were stripped. COVID protections were the greatest barrier you had in stopping a rise in fascism in the United States, stopping an increased rise of fascism, let me say. And you thought we were out of our minds for telling you that for 5 years, longer for some disabled people that are now dead. You call us canaries in the coal mine, but you don't read, let alone the signs that are right before you. Your deaths, your mass deaths, have always been preceded by the mass deaths of disabled people. And you think because we're separate from you, in your own mind, by the way, then it can't actually harm you. The ideas of disability can't fucking harm you. Oh, and by the way, it was our mass deaths that propelled Biden to the presidency in 2020. It wasn't genuine enthusiasm, it was fear. And that's what the strategists are saying again. That judging by the amount of people who will die or become disabled by 2026 or 2028, that's what will propel Democrats to the majority again. I'm actually going to summarize this comment because it's actually a little bit long and I have a poor memory even just going from screen to screen. So the question is asking people are finally coming to realize that Democrats and Republicans are the problem. Is there a greater chance of progressive policies winning elections or progressives winning elections? Here's the most frustrating part, my darling. The data on that's been out for almost 20 years. The data on that has been out for almost 20 years. They know that progressive ideas win elections, that progressive policies win elections. It's part of the reason why AOC was elected in the first place, as well as people like Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. They know, they have the data. They just don't care. They just don't care. You can pull up articles from 2009 to 2012 because Obama's election was based off of hope and change and progressive ideals. Whether that was actually the case is immaterial to the campaign itself. But they've had this data for years. They've had the data for years. They don't act upon it. They don't care. And even after this election, 2024, their first thought was, we maybe need to find a good billionaire. They have more data than the general public does. Oh, and because they're threatened by it, they spend more time, money, and effort taking down progressives than they ever utilize to take down Republicans or their policies. That's what you're watching right now. They don't want to win. They want to fundraise when they lose. Oh, and the reason why you don't see Democrats hopping to and flipping tables for this bill is because you will have so thoroughly rewritten history when it comes to COVID. You have no fucking clue what actually got Biden elected. Biden wasn't elected out of genuine enthusiasm for his campaign in 2020. He was elected because of death. Mass death. Hundreds of thousands of dead. And so you need to draw the link between that and why political strategists are projecting a win in 2026 and 2028 if this bill passes for Democrats. Oh, I'm sorry. The more people die, the better their chances of winning. Because otherwise, they don't have a plan. Otherwise, they don't have a plan.